Have you ever wanted to set off on a weekend trip and bring nothing more than a backpack, but it just didn't quite work? Well, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Halfday Roamer Backpack, which claims to have a solution. Hey everyone, this is Kyle from Finey, your financial resource for a changing world. For travel product reviews, credit card reviews, tips, and more, be sure to subscribe, and thanks for hitting that like button. A while back, I reviewed the Halfday Garment Duffle after seeing it on Instagram and buying it for myself. Since then, Halfday has continued to expand its line of travel products, including the introduction of the Roamer Backpack, which is meant to be an all-in-one packing solution. So, does it live up to that goal? Let's take a look at the Roamer Backpack's features and my overall thoughts so far. First, I do want to mention that Halfday sent me the Roamer Backpack for a review, but this video is not sponsored and there are no restrictions on what I can say. Also, I did previously purchase the Garment Duffle completely on my own, and I would have done so for the backpack until they offered it for free. Anyway, let's talk about what the Halfday Roamer Backpack is and how much it costs. With the Roamer Backpack, you can pack for 2 or 3 days without needing a separate bag. That's thanks to some useful features we'll talk about in a minute. Looking at the specs, the bag is 20 inches long, 12.5 inches wide, and 8.5 inches deep, and has a capacity of 30 liters by default, or 35 liters when you use the expansion feature. As for what that means in the real world, I was able to store my bag on its side under the airplane seat in front of me, allowing me to still utilize the legroom. Currently, the Halfday Roamer Backpack sells for $128 on the Halfday site and is available in 3 colors: jet black, marine, or olive. Personally, I opted for the marine to match my Garment Duffle. By the way, if you do decide to purchase and want to save 15%, I'll have a link in the description or in the comments down below. The first unique feature of this bag that I do want to highlight is the built-in sack that can be used in a few different ways. Inside the main compartment, you'll find an interior sack. One option for this section is to store a pair of shoes, ensuring that your potentially dirty soles stay separated from your otherwise clean clothes. But speaking of clothes, another possible utilization is a laundry bag. The sack also has a built-in clip to keep it secure or to better store it when not in use. Next, with the Roamer bag, you'll have plenty of pocket options to store and protect all of your items. Starting on the outside of the bag, you'll find a few handy features, including handles located on the top and side of the bag. Just below the side handle is a bottle holder that also has a stretchy strap to hold it in place. Meanwhile, the opposite side has a small zippered pouch. On the back of the bag is a trolley sleeve just in case you are using the backpack in addition to another carry-on for a longer trip. Also on the back is where you'll find the padded laptop pocket, which can accommodate a computer of up to 15 inches. As part of this pocket, there's also a subsection perfect for cables and other accessories. The zippers on this section also come together, allowing them to fit a TSA-approved lock, although no lock is included with the bag itself. Moving to the front, despite the smooth and flat design, there are a couple more pouches to be found. These include a large one making up the majority of the front, and then a top pouch for items you might want easy access to. This top pocket not only includes 2 cargo pouches, but also a fuzzy line section that might be good for sunglasses. Then of course there's the largest pocket of all, so let's talk about that now. This backpack's main compartment also opens nearly all of the way, which is great if you're using it to store clothes and want to live out of it for a couple of days. Not only does Roamer's design allow you to open this section completely, but you'll notice just how deep this part of the bag is. This makes it easy to stack clothes inside, or do as I did and use packing cubes instead. But inside this main part are even more storage options. On the flap side, you'll find a large mesh top zippered pocket that I use for assorted items. And then of course there's the aforementioned interior sack. All in all, I found that this design works well for the road, as I can simply access and grab all my clothes from the bag without needing to fully unpack. Another thing I like about the bag are the well-padded straps, as well as the sternum strap, although there is a slight downside to the latter. Since packing for a multi-day trip all in one bag can mean a heavy backpack, it's good to know that the Roamer straps are pretty comfortable. Moreover, I appreciate the lumbar support that's built into the trolley sleeve. And I mostly like the magnetic sternum strap that's also included. That said, while the strap is adjustable, there's not an easy way to remove it. This means that if you don't want to actively use it, you'll have to awkwardly tuck it under the strap or allow it to just bounce while you're walking, neither of which is a very good option in my opinion. Granted, you also wouldn't want a strap that's too easy to remove, but I do wish that there was some sort of solution. Finally, while there is a lot that I like about this bag, I do have a couple of suggestions for future models. My first suggestion for the Roamer bag is one I'm sure they're already working on, which is additional colors. While the 3 they've launched with are fine, I'd love to see some other fun colors or even designs join the lineup in time. In addition to my sternum strap concern, another nitpick I have involves the key leash. Although I suppose it's a nice item to have, it's placed in a pocket so small that it hardly necessitates one. Personally, I'd like to see this move to the main section of the bag instead. Finally, while the hardware on the bag feels pretty good, I prefer the zippers on the laptop pocket to those employed elsewhere on the bag. Thus, I would love to see these switched over, which also seems possible if Halfday were to launch a premium version of the Roamer as they have with their Garment Duffle. Overall, like Halfday's other products, I think that the Roamer Backpack is a clever and useful bag, especially for short getaways. Also, price-wise, it comes in well below the likes of Away. That said, as I've experienced, it may take some time with the backpack to figure out how to use it to its full efficiency. Based on my recent trip to Portland, for which I used the Roamer bag to hold my clothes, I could say that the bag achieved its goal of being an all-in-one solution. And while I found the Garment Duffle to be a bit too large for me, I think the Roamer is a good and comfortable size, especially since it fit nicely under the seat in front of me. In terms of value, at $128, the Roamer is less than the $195 Away zip backpack I previously purchased, and it has more room overall. However, some of those premium touches I said would be nice on this backpack do already exist on the Away bag. Still, I think the Roamer backpack is a decent value overall. My only note is that if you don't intend to use this backpack to hold your clothes and everything else for a short trip, then you might need to spend more time with it to see what you do want to use each pocket for. That was my experience on the first trip I took it on, where I attempted to just utilize it as a regular backpack to okay but not stellar results. Instead, using it as intended worked much better and made me see the purpose in each of the bag's pouches. So if that all-in-one but not too big solution sounds right for you, then I'd say absolutely give it a try. But if you're just looking for a regular backpack, then there may be better options out there. Hopefully this gives you a better idea about what the Roamer Halfday Backpack is all about, but for more on the bag, I'll have a link to my full written review in the description box down below or right up here on screen. Also, if you've had a chance to use the bag for yourself, I'm curious to know what your favorite features are, so be sure to let me know in the comments down below. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time here on Finey.